much as possible, all angles, and try to have
An informed decision.
a better whole picture.
Yes.
Right. So, about that, I want to mention something.
Yes, sure.
I want to mention a debate.
Okay.
So some groups, they wanted the judges to be around the ring, like placed around.
Okay.
Now we did this set. The judges are like in a firing squad where they're in the line and they're just all in front. So initially, some people will be violent reactions. How can you observe the match all around if they're just in the line?
Okay.
And that is natural. It seems logical, right?
Yes.
But let's analyze. If they are all around, so for example, you have this judge number 1, number 2, and number 3. If these are the fighters in the center, judge number 1 and number 2, when they look at the fighters in the center and the fighters are aligned, you'll just be looking at the back of one player, and the other judge will be looking at the back of the other player only. So one judge will be blind at that angle. If the players are here, then it's judge number 1 and number 2 are blind. If the players are here, it's judge number 2 and number 3. So at any one point, there will be 2 judges who are blind.
Okay.
But if it's in a line, there will only be, at any one given point, there will only be one judge who will be blind if the players are aligned. For example, you have judge number 1, number 2, and number 3. The players are this way. Only the center judge will be blind on one.
Okay.
On that angle. If the players are like this, judge number 1 will be blind, but the 2 judges can see the angle. If it's like this, the other 2 judges can see the side angles, semi-side angles, but the judge number 2. So, sometimes what I'm getting at is interpretation of the rules. Sometimes you have biases and you have we have the templates of the other rules from before. But sometimes we can modernize it and there's a new opinion. But that initially, it seems logically, putting the judges around is better. But now some people thought putting them in the line will eliminate the blind angles better.
Okay, I get that. If it's, again, I would have to comment on that one. It will be a blind side considering if the judges are not moving.
Yeah.
What if they move with? What if they move with the action?
Well, the movement can address that issue.
Yes, we do that in our tournaments. So the judges have to move around. They're not allowed.
I wanna raise another thing that is sort of related to that, right? Management of the fighter again. So there's this one group, they wanted the judges around the ring. Again, it's okay or not, it's a debate, right? But the problem is, they have these judges, judge 1, number 2, and judge 1, 2, 3, but the problem is the referee is here in front. So how is the referee gonna check the other 2? Because you need to have 2 flags to score.
Okay.
Right? So the referee is gonna look behind and then see if for a flash, is there a flag there? And they were adamant. They were trying to defend this. And in a flash, you have to look and look. And the only solution is for the referee to step back and see all the 3. So sometimes it's a bit difficult. Not only with the rules, but with the people who are seniors in martial arts, but not so senior in the sporting arena. But they try to use their seniority in martial arts to try to enforce something in sports, which realistically, they are not really.
It's difficult. It's a challenge. I would say that it's a challenge. I don't know if we share the same view when I say that martial art is different from a sport, considering that sports have so many limitations, and let's say a competitor has to stay within those compounds, whereas a martial artist would go find a ways to succeed regardless of the rules. I don't know if you view the same way as I did.
We have to have the same view and we explain it differently.
Yes.
And they are really different, but really different. That's why I mentioned a while ago this real concept, or I mean, it not mean martial athlete. Sometimes a martial artist is somewhat of old, and athleticism is something new. I want to interject something about boxing, right?
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Michael J. Wilds, he was talking about boxing like he was doing the straight, like the explanation is like from the traditional reverse punch,
Okay.
using the trunk and core, and then stopping shear,
Okay.
using the lats and stabilizers. Whereas normally, boxers, coaches don't really delve deep into that. So it's a bit surprising. Going back to martial artist and martial athlete.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Okay, and it's understandable. And I think if it will really evolve, because if you are, especially for competitors, you would try to get the advantage. If being stronger is an advantage, of course, it gets stronger. If you learn which muscles you have to activate to have a stronger punch, let's say.
yeah.
So it's understandable if it's going to that direction. And for your opinion about rule sets, what would be a perfect rule set for you? What for you? Again, it's just an opinion. It is not really anything about anything against anybody else. It's a personal opinion.
Okay, so for me, a perfect rule set will be able to cater to really looking at the whole clash holistically,
Okay.
of offense value and defense value. And this is, well, I don't have a proposition on how to do it perfectly, but how do you gauge who really won?
Okay.
And because sometimes is it they should go headshot, right? They have the more lethal target areas, or however the one hit or touched first, but it's not that lethal, like a touch or a slash to the arm, while the other touched second to the head. Some people will argue, well, he got a wound, but the other one died. Right? And as a martial artist, of course, I want to declare winners based on the situation and looking at it from a martial artist's point of view. However, as a sportsman and as a referee, those are points of contention that you need to clean up, and you need to limit the game so that it's playable. So in developing the rules, it's a bit, we have two factors for the safety,
Yes.
and so it's playable. Not maybe a hidden third, so that it's a spectator sport, so you can sell it in many ways, like as a spectator sport, or the athletes themselves, they enjoy it. So a lot of times, for example, the all-encompassing groin shot, kick to the groin is very effective in martial arts, but it's always not allowed in all the martial arts.
Would you like it to be allowed?
As they say, it's a foul. I mean, it's a foul.
But personally, and again, a personal opinion, would you go for something like that? Would you allow something like, hitting the groin area or a kicking part? Again, depends on the...
It's a bit funny because I'm biased for that groin strike.
Okay.
Because I was able to defend myself
In real life. Okay.
against 3 people, and 2 of them I hit on the groin.
Well, at least it works.
It works really well. So, but again, it's not a game. So one shot can end the career of the person and generations after.
Yes.
So, it's more like a gladiator sport or something. But
Okay, now I have a question for you. Our rule set, does it fit your criteria?
well, it's better than the usual sport.
Okay.
Yes, martial arts wise,
Yes.
And you have this, when I'm not really that clear about this side, I think you have this thing about who attacked first, or maybe it's
Or the afterblow or something like that.
yeah.
Okay, so it's just, if you attack, let's say if I attack you first, and then you just hit me next, like the timing would be almost simultaneous, but
yes.
clearly they attack first and then just follow through. You follow the attack. We call that an afterblow. So our intention is that an attacker should always be mindful of your opponent, and a defender should always be mindful of the attack. So if somebody attacks you, you should be defending it first rather than trying to hit back.
Okay.
So that's the premise that hopefully that it could be done. So of course, in reality, it's not always happens, especially when people are adrenalizing and you won't get to see that often. But as much as possible, we even want to avoid, double hits. Those are the things that we really do not like seeing.
So I want to talk about that.
Sure.
Right? Because you're asking me about how I like the sport, and
Yes.
so as I said, trying to be more authentically martial arts oriented,
Yes.
and that afterglow concept shows it.
Okay. That.
Shows now. I like the concept. I like that concept, but
Okay.
you have to be able to train the referees how
Yes.
to make it standard or something.
Yes.
Because even for me, I'm a veteran referee as well. If I'm gonna apply it, it will also be difficult for me. So how to do that? Maybe further refine it, or maybe further quantify it, like or qualify it, so that the referees can interpret it like more or less more standard or more the same, more homogeneous.
Yes.
Yes, because my experience in the other sports, although the organizers are not really cheating or what, the losers will always say they cheat. They cheat, or it's biased because they lost, right? And it's always a point of contention if the interpretation of rules are different per judge. Something. And I've experienced throughout the years, those who were able to maintain a couple of events consistently were those who were able to make their rule sets clear.
Yes.
And so when the people come back, their expectations are, they're already set and they're already familiar. For the first time, of course, people will try to know the rules, but then they come back and they're familiar with the rules. If there are changes, it's announced properly, and it's not arbitrary. You just change it for the day. The changes are there, that when you change it, it goes on to the next events because it has a reason for that change.
Yeah.
So I like that afterblow concept.
Yeah. Our afterblow is if I hit you, and you hit me back with an afterblow because I wasn't able to defend myself after an attack.
Yeah.
The points I'm supposed to get will get deducted. Okay. I also compete in other tournaments before for similar rule sets about afterblows. Because sometimes, if you attack me in the arm, but I attack you in the head, since the point value is higher in the head, I would get higher points. So we took that out. We don't want something like that wherein, I'll just focus on just hitting you with the higher points, so I'll just keep on getting high points. So we took it out, and what we did, if I'm going to hit you, where it is, the points you're supposed to score will just get deducted. I will not as one person doing the afterblow, I will not get rewarded for that. So that's the idea behind that. Yes.
This is nice. Yes. Let's go back to the thing you mentioned.
The doubles or
the the different body points.
Yes. Point system. Yes, correct.
I won't name this certain Arnis group.
Okay.
We keep them say it.
Ooh.
But they have this. I won't even name the number of points because it will really point to the group.
Okay.
So they have the different points per whatever body part.
Okay.
And actually, the idea is good. And martial arts side, the idea is also good, right? Wherein you have more vital part areas. Even the zombie apocalypse, right? You get the headshot, you can bring the zombie down. So anyway, however, when they implemented it,
Okay.
and I'm not mentioning them, so it's safe to say what they did. Number one, they were looking at each other. They're trying to copy each other instead of just judging what happened based on their judgment call. Number two, you're supposed to raise the flag a certain way corresponding to the number of points. Again, I won't mimic it because it's really unique to them. But because it seems, the rule set seems nice, but on the spot, they are chaos. They don't know where to raise the flag.
Yeah.
What position because of the number of points. And then they have this rule set about a clean hit and then something.
So it's nice on paper,
It's nice on paper.
but execution is medyo iffy.
They were not able to.
Well, I'm proud to
Promise.
say that the way we did it in
Yes.
Okay, so we have a rule. So as side judges, once a halt is called, everybody, all the judges look down, then give the call. So to avoid copying other people, so it's down. Okay, okay, who hit? Is there a hit? It's an afterblow. Those things. So, where was the hit? Where was the hit? Okay, then we point where, and still looking down without looking at anybody else. That way, it will be more. The way we see it is, it will be more unbiased.
Yeah.
So then the director will just say, okay, oh, it looks fine. Okay, here's what I view, what I see. Oh, I agree with this judge. Okay. Or if the director is kind of, I don't know what happened, but the others are more consistent. Okay, I'll follow what these people are saying. So
How do you break the tie? Like, you have 3 judges, right? See?
yes,
So it already breaks the tie, right?
yes, it does.
Does the referee?
Okay, the referee also has the fight director has the last say.
And the fight director.
It always boils down to him. So all the judges on the side, they have their own what they saw. Okay, the director would go, okay, this is what I saw, and pretty much based on the information what I got, then I could make an informed decision.
Yeah.
Now here's the nice thing about the next one. We're bringing in for the more important we'll call it the semifinals and finals. We'll be doing video refereeing. So I mean, we'll have we're going to have it in the video, but we only use it if the calls are not clear. Okay, let's have a video. Let's check it. Instant replay, which will be seen by the fight director. He looks at it. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, I think this judge called it correct. So I'm giving it following this judge. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I have to applaud that development. And it's following some industry standard of the other sports, which in our Arnis sport,
Yes.
I can't say it's lacking. It's non-existent. Yeah, because in the other sport, you have the challenges like in maybe volleyball or what.
Yes.
And you have the limited number of I want to challenge this, and then they have this limited number of cards.
Yes.
Per team. Challenge number 1, and then look at the instant replay, and then okay, so good. And then I guess maybe the other sports have that mechanism as well.
Yeah, fencing has that. Yeah.
So now in Arnis and our group and resources, having a video cam of the game with an instant replay capability is a dream. We tried it back in 2019. We tried to do it, but it was shut down because logistically it's a bit difficult
Okay.
to do it. But the spirit of the noise there, so we tried to do it. And so we reverted back to just doing the judgment call because the games are all piled up and waiting. And logistically, whatever the referees, the referee and the judges saw, they have to do it in the spot. And if they did not see anything, then they have to call it that they didn't see anything.
Yeah.
And so now if you're moving like that, that's a very
Again, only for the important matches like the medals and stuff like that.
yes.
So we have to be sure that that's the correct. The point is correct. So we want to have the self calls. If you hit me, even if the judges didn't see it, I got hit.
That's nice.
So it's more of we want to go for that for the honesty. Yes. So we want to be fair, and again, most of the sports. Again, I could only speak for fencing. That's where I came from. Like, I want to get the point. Because the point, I want to win. So even if the wrong call was wrong again, if the call was wrong against me, I wouldn't say anything. I already scored the point. That's it's small for sports.
Yes.
So what we want to do with BAM is be honest, be a gentleman. So if you didn't get if you honestly didn't score the point, if you know that it's a miss or it's a tap, and it's not a valid hit, and it avoided you, we would have to say, nope, that's not valid.
That's, again, I want to go back to what we were talking about a while ago.
Yes.
The martial arts side of it. In sports, you're out there to win.
Yes.
But the martial arts side, there's the discipline component.
Exactly.
Honesty and other values. It shows in that aspect about reporting your...
Yeah, self-calling,
Yeah, self-calling. So, I've had a previous experience as well in another martial art. That's just last year. You were doing Taekwondo. It's a traditional Korean thing.
Yes.
And the Koreans, they formulated this rule set that works for them.
Right.
You're not supposed to hit very hard on the face. You just tap it just for the score. So for them, it's okay. And then it is, I think, part of their culture. They play it like that. Now, sometimes there are foreigners who are just there to kick.
Yes.
And it's a bit rough. And this is a few years ago, not last year. And it's a bit rough. So, there's a difference of just playing the sport or keeping the martial side of it. The martial side, not to destroy or kill, but the discipline side.
Okay. Great. So, Coach Ryan, thank you very much for this for this very entertaining, educational interview. We learned a lot from this one. So, thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to say to our audience?
Not many people know this. We have a registered club here in the school. It's called Mixed Weapons Measurements. Oh, cool. It's for stuff like this. Well, hey, if you want to bring us here, sure.
We'd be more than willing to come here.
So, how about for your semester, well, yeah, you're waiting for the rest of it?
Yes. Okay, well, we'll have the details soon on where, what time, and all of that. So, as we'll be in, with that, please, and more people join, and more people when meeting the better.
Our students, they are just ready as willing every time we start in our classes. I don't know. They have so classes. Yes, we have. What kids, they are back over the shot. When I see that, anyways, just tell the partner to one big fight. Yes. When we have one big stick. That's not happening. Yes.
Okay, so sir, thank you very much.